This week's announcement of the end of production at Detroit Hamtramck Assembly Plant brings uncertainty to its future.
Photojournalist John Cellino tells us the story of one man who documented the factory's controversial beginning while the entire neighborhood was leveled to make room for the plant.
I was generally aware that the city was struggling at that time. You know, I think there was a crisis in the automobile industry.
38 years ago, Bruce Harkness was 28 when time ran out for Poletown. The neighborhood would be raised to make way for what would be the Detroit Hamtramck Assembly Plant.
Of course, there was a lot of opposition to it, but there were a lot of people that really wanted this plant, this assembly plant, and believed in it.
But while he was still working on his master's degree in photography, Bruce wanted to document the East Side community before it disappeared.
I always enjoyed going to this part of the city. For me, it had sort of a welcoming feeling to it.
Some of the Poletown residents were happy to receive relocation money and move. Others fought desperately to stay. And in the end, because of eminent domain, neither had a choice. Mayor Duggan recounted earlier this week what it took to make room for the plant.
That we moved thousands of people out of that neighborhood, hundreds of businesses, 6 churches and a hospital.
February of '81, it was still a pretty vital place.
Harkness didn't weigh in on the politics of the decision. His only interest was capturing a part of Detroit that would be soon gone forever.
It was a real mix. A lot of businesses that were still functioning. The streets were lined with houses. Quite a few people still living there. You'd see people outside.
Bruce would go to the area that straddled Detroit and Hamtramck 3 or 4 times a week during 1981 and witnessed how quickly the 450 acres were being cleared.
But I think a lot of people that lived there knew that eventually the city and General Motors would win out and they would lose their properties.
The last pocket of organized resistance to the project was a group held up in Immaculate Conception Church. And once the church fell, that marked the unofficial end of Poletown. The irony of this week's announcement is not lost on Bruce Harkness. The assembly plant is now as vulnerable to the future as the old neighborhood it replaced.
Wow, pretty incredible there. Well, Bruce Harkness's photographic collection now resides at the Walter P. Reuther Library on the campus of Wayne State University.
And just having those memories, it's priceless.
Oh yeah, incredible.
Absolutely. Okay, well. Yeah.